Time is speeding up. You can feel it, can't you? Think back to a summer when you were a kid. That one felt endless. But now, the years just disappear. It's not your imagination. Time really is speeding up, but not for the reason you'd think. Because time isn't moving faster, your brain is. And once you get how it works, you'll notice something kind of unsettling. How fast your life goes by isn't fixed. You've been giving away your own time without even realizing it. Let's start with the simplest answer. It comes from a French guy named Paul Janet over 100 years ago. Janet pointed out something obvious that nobody had really said out loud. When you're 1 year old, a single year is your whole life. It's everything you've ever known. When you're 10, a year is just a tenth of your memory. And when you're 50, that same year is barely a 50th, so every year keeps getting smaller. Not in hours, in proportion. To a 5-year-old, waiting for Christmas feels like forever, because it's a huge chunk of the life they've actually lived. To you now, a year is a thin slice on a growing pile, and the math never stops. Every birthday makes the next year feel shorter. It's a clean idea, but it's not the whole story. Because proportion alone can't explain why some weeks vanish and others drag on. For that, you have to look at how your brain actually builds a memory. Here's the weird part. Your sense of how long something lasted doesn't come from a clock inside you. It comes from how much you remember. A psychologist named William James wrote about this way back in 1890. He noticed that the years when you're young feel long in your memory because they're packed with firsts. Your first day of school, your first friend, the first time you saw the ocean. Every one of those was new, so your brain saved it in vivid detail. New experiences are loaded with information, and your brain uses all that to measure time. A day full of new stuff feels long when you look back on it. A day of pure routine almost disappears. Now think about what happens as you get older. The firsts run out. You've made that same drive 1,000 times. You've had that same Tuesday 100 times over. Your brain stops writing anything down because nothing's new. And a stretch of life with no new memories shrinks down to almost nothing. That's why 2 weeks somewhere new can feel longer than 2 months at your desk. It's not the hours. It's the memories per hour. A neuroscientist named David Eagleman has spent years digging into this. He found that when something's new or scary, your brain records way more detail than normal. That's why a car crash seems to happen in slow motion. Time didn't actually slow down. Your brain just wrote more of it down. So it feels longer when you replay it. So new stuff stretches time. Routine erases it. And let's be honest, most of adult life is routine. But there's one more layer. And this one isn't in your memories. It's in your body. An engineer at Duke named Adrian Bejan came up with an idea back in 2019. He argued that as you age, how fast your brain processes images literally slows down. When you were young, your brain grabbed mental snapshots fast, one after another. More frames per second, basically. As you get older, the signals travel slower through older, more tangled wiring. Your eyes even move less. So you take in fewer new images in the same amount of real time. And here's the twist. If your brain's running fewer frames, but the world outside keeps moving at the same speed, then the world feels like it's rushing past you. To a kid, more images land every second, so an hour feels rich and full. To you, fewer land, so the same hour feels thin, and it's gone before you noticed. There's even a chemical side to this. Deep in your brain, there's an internal clock set partly by a chemical called dopamine. Researchers who study this, like Warren Meck, found that dopamine helps set the speed of that clock. As you age, your dopamine slowly drops. And when the clock runs slower on the inside, the world outside seems to speed up. So put it all together. Each year is a smaller slice of your life. Your brain saves fewer new memories, it runs fewer images per second, and your internal clock is winding down. 4 different things, all pushing the same way, all making your life feel like it's picking up speed. Now here's the part that actually matters, the part you can use. If time speeds up because of routine and running out of new stuff, then new stuff is the break. Every time you do something for the first time, your brain wakes up and starts recording again. A new way home, a skill you've never tried, a place you've never been, a real conversation with a stranger. Each one lays down fresh, detailed memory. And detailed memory is what makes a stretch of life feel long. That's why people who keep chasing new experiences often feel like they've lived more. Even at the end, they didn't get more hours. They just filled their hours with more to remember. You can't stop getting older, but you can decide how much of your life you actually feel. You can pick routine and let the years blur into one smooth, forgettable rush. Or you can keep reaching for new things. and stretch time back out, one memory at a time. So think back, one more time, to that endless summer when you were a kid. It didn't actually last any longer than the summers you get now. It only felt that way. Because everything in it was new. And the good news? New is still out there, waiting. Your brain is still ready to slow down and record it. The only real question is whether you'll go looking for it before another year quietly slips through your fingers.